Yeah. Yeah, he was. He was. Yeah, he's community work. Yeah. Can you hear that? Test. Can you hear that? Yeah. Can you hear that? Can you hear it? Ready? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With the history and things that we're working on, what we're doing, so we can keep somebody on board that knows that, so we can keep moving forward and do it. New guy don't know that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
People don't know that stuff.
Right, that's kind of
You kind of stuff people don't know.
that's right, yeah.
Hey, Kyle, you just bring it in from Raleigh? Oh, it went good, man. How'd you think it went?
When that rubber knuckles with the governor.
Big
With
discovery.
the governor.
Oh, man, he's up there in the executive chambers.
Right.
Executive chambers.
I told him I said, you should have told him I said how long my cousin works for him.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Tommy's got connections.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 7 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started. First thing is to stand, face the flag. We're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Next, I'm going to open us up in a quick word of prayer. If you'll please bow your head. God, thank you for the time to join together tonight, the meeting of the minds. God, give us all the wisdom and the patience and the calm for tonight's meeting. Let us have clarity and let us have the mindset of working together and finding solutions for the betterment of our community. Amen.
Amen.
All right, first up on the agenda is our public forum, and we're starting with James Gwaltney III for 807 East Nash Street, compliance with auto repair ordinance. Mr. Gwaltney.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I own the property at 807 East Nash, and I gave y'all a diagram. I hope it got to you. Due to the way our land lays out, I'm looking at a little variance off the way the ordinances are. Our land, my yard, is about 7 to 8 feet lower than the crest of the road, and a 6-foot fence obviously is not going to do much good. So what we would like to do is come off the right front corner of the building, plant a row of trees across the yard to the woods on the far side. And down the front of the building, we're going to put either a fence or plant azaleas down the front of it to cover the front of the building. The only gap we want to leave in the row of trees is where the path comes up on the right side, on the east side of the building, because the left side is so narrow, and that gives the chance for Mr. Brantley to have a wrecker, bring cars to his business. It also leaves room for the fire department if they need to get to the property to give them an opportunity to get both sides of the building. I'd hoped to address this last month. Did not realize that y'all didn't take public forum that quick. Y'all moved it back a week. So we have landscapers on standby and fence on standby, and just because it's a little of a variance, I wanted to bring it to the whole board. And I hope I've kept under my 3 minutes.
Hey, you did, and you had mentioned this to me before, and what you are doing, it sounds above and beyond. You know, you're taking into consideration the trees. You picked out a tree that's gonna be at a good height. I think you
We-
even considered the maximum height of the tree too, didn't you?
We did, the trees that were picked was a choice Andrew gave us. If they're spaced far apart, they'll grow to 80 feet, which would just be a problem in an open field. Wind would blow them down, so we're gonna plant them a little closer. You can plant them a little closer and kind of stunt the growth and trying to stunt it at about 20 to 25 feet. So that should put them equal or above the roof of the building.
Yeah.
What are they, buddy? What kind of tree? Remember, Andrew?
What was your suggestion?
I don't remember what you decided on. We talked about a couple of different arborvitae.
There's 4 variations. I really don't know the difference between the giant, the green giant, some other giant, and something else. But we chose one of your trees. We were in touch with a couple of landscape architects for some other choices, but your choice was just as well. Some of them will go green. We can plant them close enough they'll blend together. And depending on the cost, we may plant 2 rows and stagger them, and that way it should fill sooner in.
And then it looks like you're planning to move that shelter that's in front of the building with the grills around to the.
That is already started. We've allowed him to cut a door in the back of the building. It will give him a secondary exit for safety reasons, and it will give him a reason to move his shelter and his grills to the back. So the only way you can actually see in the back would be where the gate is in the middle of the trees. And, I mean, it kind of is what it is. If you get too close to the trees, it's very low, it stays wet a good portion of the year and doesn't really help us or really help the situation at all. The path has been there for 20 years, it's well-packed gravel and should stand test of time.
Any questions from the commissioners?
Okay, so we need a motion to grant the variance, is that correct?
Yeah, if it will please the board, yeah, something to approve the plan so that Mayor Gwaltney can go forward with that.
Eric, you got any questions?
None. Sounds like a good plan.
I'll make a motion, we approve your variance for the plan that Buddy has suggested.
I second motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion carries. Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Gwaltney, for being here. Good job on the plan. Next up is Brian Neal, Levy Lane on the water bill. Mr. Neal, the floor is yours. Okay. Next is Miss Priscilla Capps from North Walnut Street, speaking on the stream and the road. Thank you, Miss Priscilla Capps, for being here. And if you'll just state your name and your address, please.
My name is Priscilla Katz, and I live at 505 North Walnut Street. I'm a 30-year resident. Our house was the 4th house built in Walnut Court. So I've seen a lot of things, and I've seen a lot of changes. And being the age I am, I want to be able to see the residents that live down there be treated fairly. But we've got some problems down there now, and they've got to be corrected. And it's for the well-being of the community, and I believe in community, and I want to see things change. Recently, our neighborhood has experienced something no one should have to endure, so, you know, the flooding at the end of the road, and that isolated us from the rest of the town. And while heavy rains are part of the issue, there's a much larger problem at play here. Our neighborhood is being ignored, and it's putting our homes, our property, and even our safety at risk. As many of you know, the new development Walnut Cove has made the flooding situation worse. Neighbors like Eddie Lopez are dealing with water from Walnut Cove flowing through their front yards like a river. It is facing a $9,000 bill just to fix the underside of his house where this water has flowed like a river, to seal his house to prevent further damaging. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. And that doesn't even hit the cost of planting the trees and fixing the yard. This is a very much an inconvenience, and it's financial and emotional burden for Mr. Lopez. And part of that problem, which I've walked around both neighborhoods to see, part of the problem, Walnut Cove was built up high, and where on Yellowwood Avenue, all that water flows down the way they landscaped it. So that's a big issue. And all the houses on the right-hand side of Walnut Court are being burdened by this. And it's not fair, we pay taxes. And Debbie across the street from Mr. Lopez, Debbie Upchurch, she couldn't be here tonight. She's having her own struggles with sinkholes forming in her yard due to the excess water. And Tom, that lives next to Mr. Lopez, he's having the same problem with his yard, water flowing down. And there's been a ditch dug, but it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so the water is a problem. Scott and Sally Chapman, which live across the street from me, they've always had some flooding in the backyard, but this past time was really bad. So those are issues that we have that need to be corrected. You know, and then, you know, of course, the end of the road, everybody knows about that and what the problem is there. And I know that that y'all are trying really hard to correct that. But it's really scary because if we have an emergency down there, who's gonna get in and out? We have one outlet for Walnut Cove and Walnut Court, one. And what do you do? So, and like so I ask as a tax-paying citizens, why are we in this situation? Why is our neighborhood being left behind? Why can't the city of Spring Hope step up and repair our road? If it's not in the budget, we should be able to get grants for roads. And we want to make sure that our community is safe. And it cannot continue. It's a threat to our property, our homes, and our safety. And I'm asking leaders and our neighbors and all concerned citizens to come together and demand that our neighborhood be taken seriously. We need better drainage systems. Our roads need to be repaired. Our roads, the last time Walnut Court was paved was 27 years ago. And from the rain that we have had, there are so many cracks in the road. And we have school buses coming up in there now. I mean, there's sinkholes up in there. It's a safety issue, and it needs to be corrected. And I thank you for your time. I do have pictures, and I do have my little spiel.
And we thank you for your time and thank you for your diligence and the professionalism that you prepared here tonight. Appreciate you bringing these concerns forward. And thank you for the pictures also. This is very helpful.
And my husband was going to speak, but he said I could do all the speaking, so.
Okay. Mr. Manager, is the road in Walnut Court an HOA?
In Walnut Court, I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, we'd have to do some research. We could not come up with any information in the office on the establishment of Walnut Court. We'll continue to look or see if we can find something, perhaps filed at the registry.
Ken Ripley was on the planning board at that time. He may know of where something could be.
Could be.
We'll
We'll pursue that with Mr. Ripley.
Because that's the only way we'll know who's responsible for paving it, right?
Well, as I've made the board aware, we put North Walnut Street, that part that we colloquially call Walnut Court, on the paving list for the spring paving project. So we just have to put the engineering for that together, and that'll be one of the Virginia Street, That part of North Walnut Street and Second Street were the roads we identified.
Yes.
They're in the worst shape.
Do you think they'll be able to fit the entire Virginia?
I think we can do the entirety of Virginia and Walnut Street. Second Street might be the question if we can do the entirety of Second Street, but we'll try, see what we can do.
Very good. Very good. Okay, thank you for your time, Ms. Caps. Thank you.
Puritan Court is gone. There's just no road left down there.
Yeah, Mr. Ball, if I may, Mr. Mayor.
please.
Mr. Ball and I were down there meeting with one of the residents, Mr. Richard Dial, and he's got some erosion issues on his swale, and we walked a good part, Bobby and I walked a good part of it. Yeah, the road has suffered over the years. Some of it is the water, and some of it, I think, is just the base, so.
Okay, keeping right on with the agenda, Mr. Capps yielded his time on the floor to Ms. Priscilla. Moving on to Mike Gordon of Riley Way. If you'll please just state your name and address, and thank you for being here, Mike.
My name is Mike Gordon. I'm at 215 Riley Way in the new subdivision in the back. I'm coming here today to ask for your help. I've been a resident here since 2022. I had my first flooding and erosion in 2023 of January. I moved into my new home December 21st of 22, and I had my first case with the erosion in my backyard in 2023. We did have a couple people come out to fix the erosion based on our development, but it was basically just a quick fix, and then they said, once the other houses are built, the situation will get better because they'll put sod. But with our builder, they only put sod in the front of the house, so all the back of the house was still flooding and going into the people's yards along Riley. It has been very frustrating going back and forth. I've emailed a couple of you. I've spoken with a couple of the commissioners before, and I'm basically just looking for some help in any way, form, for myself and for my neighbors. I feel bad for the people that are behind us in the court, because we're already looked at as we're the new people in town, and we're now creating a heavier burden on them because all of our water that we're dealing with is now going into their yard, which is not fair. We're all citizens here. We all pay taxes. We're not paying more, we're paying less, you know, we're all still together. I've sent you guys, I apologize, I have a newborn, so I was kind of late to the game, but I did email you guys a whole bunch of pictures. It's on a Facebook page that we started. If you want to take a look at those, I'm also regularly available. I put my contact information that if you want to come out and take a look. A couple of my other neighbors are having a little bit worse situation. I've kind of patched my situation up in the backyard, but because of the other neighbors down the road, all their water is coming straight into my backyard. So whatever I do, I'm not able to keep because it literally gets washed away with the littlest of rain. On the 14th, no, was it the 14th or the 4th in August, when we had that flash flood, my wife had to make a decision. Was she gonna risk her life going down out of our courtyard to be able to get to my son and my daughter at school, which was the first day of school, so my daughter was on very high anxiety about starting kindergarten. She had to drive through the flood water to get out, and we could not see where the road began and where it started. Both sides have a drop-off on both sides, so if she would've went to the right, she would've dropped down and had the same situation that we just had over in the backside of the Food Lion area on 64, was that 64? Or
581.
581. Nobody should be put in that situation to be able to choose your family, with a situation that can be fixed. Myself and a couple other people went out there on numerous occasions to look at the drains. Some of the drains are too high to get the water through. Some of them are too low and completely filled with mud and clay and whatever else you could think of that kind of just fell. What I'm asking you guys is to, one, come out, take a look at it when we do have a heavy storm. We haven't had the rain the past couple of weeks, so if you go out there now, obviously it's gonna look dry, but come out there when we have a good rain and come and take a look at all the destruction that we have to deal with on a daily basis. Being a first home buyer, we did not have extra money to be able to put into fixing our house. the first couple of months that we were there. We want to be able to make sure that we have this as our forever home. This was our first home, and the neighborhood is perfect. We have excellent neighbors. We're a great community. We look to give back to the neighborhood. I'm not, a person that you probably have seen my face over, social media. I'm always trying to give back to my community and try to do the right thing. And I'm just asking you guys to be able to help out in any way possible, even pointing me in the right direction instead of going around in circles constantly. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks for being organized and speaking tonight. Any questions from any of the commissioners for Mike Gordon? Okay. All right. Next is Mr. Edward Lopez. The floor is yours. If you'll state your name and address, please.
My name is Edward Lopez. I'm at 608 Walnut, and the problem has started. I've been here before. I was here 2 years ago. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, Tony. And Tony knows that we've been here before. And the situation is just not getting any better. We work, we come home, and we try to take the pets out, and it's a swamp. So the pets have to be taken care inside the house. And then my family and everyone helps out, and I'm in the community also, and I'm involved. And the water situation where the new phase 3 started, it just comes right down, and we get slammed at my property, and that's where the problem starts. When we come out, we can't even see nothing. My driveway at one point was all blue rocks, and now it's fertilizer from the new homes. We don't want to blame it on them, but when I was here 2 years ago, we spoke, and the developers, they said they were going to do something, they never did anything. There's no kind of water situation that's coming down or being diverted. It just comes right to our homes. And the property is just overflow. I had an estimate done on the foundation, and they're telling me $9,000. And that's something that someone cannot just lay out. And we don't have flood insurance, so where do we go from here? And who's gonna take care of it? And what's gonna happen going forward? So, I've been involved, and me and Priscilla, we've been going down the neighborhood. And when I come home during the storm, I don't even want to get into the property. This last storm that happened, we couldn't even get into our homes until almost 7 o'clock at night, because the fire department stopped us from going in, because they were doing rescues. And we just couldn't get into the neighborhood. So we wanted to know something that's gonna be done, the foundation, the roads also, they're all caving in. The schools, the kids have to be sitting or standing near the roads, and they're playing with rocks on the road when they should be waiting for a school bus, because the foundation is all being torn apart, just going back and forth. So we just wanted to know if something's gonna be done about this. I don't wanna come back here another 2 years from now, like I did 2 years ago.
Exactly.
Because I was here before, and I spoke my mind, and nothing was never done. And now when all the water happens, we just gotta prepare for it. And that's something that we just, it's hard on us.
That's right. It is. It is very disheartening.
Yeah, we wanna know
It
if
is.
something could be done.
It is.
So I just wanna thank you all for hearing us out and listening to us and seeing if something could be done.
That's right.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
listening.
coming out here. Okay, Mr. Edward, thank you so much again. Seriously, I do appreciate it. I have seen the videos of the water. I did walk out there personally and look at it, both at the back of your property and at the culverts at the entrance to Walnut Court. And as Mike Gordon pointed out, it's very simple. You can just simply look at the culverts and see that they're full of dirt and need to be cleaned out. It's very obvious. And the flow, the way, I mean, you can just stand there at the back corner of your yard and you can literally just look at how each yard just literally slopes right towards your backyard. So you see that, and there's no denying it. It's perfectly visible when you stand back there. It's a stream through there, and I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. I am. Okay, Mr. Dominique Richards, Riley Way, if you'll please. Miss Dominique, yes, ma'am. Miss Dominique.
All right. My name is Dominique Richards. I'm at 233 Riley Way in Walnut Cove. I am here today to bring to your attention about the ongoing flooding and erosion issues that have been severely affecting our area. As you know, our community lies within a designated flood zone, and with the recent periods of heavy rainfall, the situation has only worsened. Excessive water runoff has caused frequent flooding damages, soil erosion, and unsafe conditions for my home and others in my neighborhood. These challenges are not only a threat to my home and infrastructure, but they also pose health and safety risks for my families and other families in the community. I strongly believe that a proper drainage system is urgently needed to address these concerns. Installing adequate drainage would help manage stormwater, reduce erosion, and prevent further damage to property and the environment. This would not only protect current residents, but also support the long-term stability and growth of the town. I'm just begging for help. I have pictures of my backyard. I moved into my house of December 28th of 2022. And I would say by April of 2023, I had at least, it's like you'll see. It's so bad. You could pass it along. It created like a large ditch in my backyard. It's at least 4 feet deep. It's rooting. You can see it's rooting from the earth. And my fear is my home is not gonna last for another 10 years. All the water and moisture is going under, and I feel like it's gonna destroy the infrastructure of the home. I have contacted builders, I have reached out to HOA, I have sent emails, I have sent pictures, and everyone's blaming each other. Nobody wants to take accountability, and basically it's left up to me to try to handle it. That's gonna cost thousands of dollars that I cannot afford. I am a single mom, and this is my first home. And I don't, at this point, I don't know what to do. And it's not only myself, it's Mr. Gordon as well, as many others in my area. Our backyards look horrible. It's horrible. And none of us know what else to do. Like, we're all new within no more than 2-3 years living in this town, all of us. And it's so bad. It's so bad. I tried to see, what it would cost for a drainage system or to create a French drain so from the water when it falls into my backyard, it's like, it just sits there. And I've been quoted at least $7,000. I can't afford that, Once again, I'm a single mom, this is my first home. I don't have thousands of dollars to put into a home that is a new build home that is not even a full 3 years old yet, 4 years old yet. So I just hope you guys take this into consideration, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. The pictures definitely help to visualize that erosion as it constantly takes that same stream,
Yes.
that same watershed. And, you bring light when you said, everyone said, well, it's not our concern, it's not our concern, it's not our concern. Kind of no one was accepting responsibility, and that is very frustrating. That is very frustrating. And we were in a meeting with the state today with members from the governor's team, the governor's office, regarding flash flooding and efforts that were prompted from the 2 lives that were lost here in Spring Hope. There was a coalition of local individuals, elected officials. Commissioner Griffin was on the call today as well. And we were talking about how the different permitting is broken up into so many different agencies, and that when that permit clears, it's clear to go for the contractor to move forward. And we looked at how some of those things need realigning, and the state level, even in the General Assembly, on the legislative side, Rules Chairman of the House John Bell, he even said that there are things that need major adjustments so that they do align properly and prevent some of these problems from the beginning. And so I am working on things at a state level that can hopefully facilitate quicker efforts here on a local level as well. So we have people at the state fighting this fight for you as well. I want you to know that. And Commissioner Griffin, thank you for being on that call today. Is there anything you want to add about how they're pushing that at that level?
You know, it is a big issue, and it is very important, and I think it does have the attention of a lot of people from the local level all the way to the state level. And part of the problem is, or part of the issue is, you know, as our climate changes and there's more moisture in the air because it's a few degrees warmer, then it can create situations that cause these training thunderstorms and these cloud bursts that, you know, are not unusual, but unfortunately they're becoming more common than they were even 10 years ago. And so I think Kyle touched on this, and so the rest of us are involved with seeing some of the things that are being brought up. You know, unfortunately, some of that stuff's not going to be a quick fix, but it does have the attention of a lot of people, and are looking at things that can be done in the near term to try and circumvent those problems from happening in the short term, but all the things that can be done, cleaning out culverts and trying to keep ditches and drainage ways clean and paying more attention to that, and that would take cooperation from the state, the county, towns like Spring Hope. And so those are all things that everybody, I know that our town manager has contacted state agencies to have studies done on the whole hydraulic and drainage area of the whole region and the drainage basins that we're in, and looking at what things can be done to try and prevent these things from happening or make them not as big of an issue as they have been. But we are very aware of the issues you've had, and it has got to be really frustrating and tiring for all of you, and to not be able to get home because of whatever reason, when you're worried about your family's on one side of flooding water and you're on the other side, not to mention the issues with your home. I mean, just your family's safety would cause a lot of stress and angst. So, you know, we are all very aware of that and very sorry for that, and we want to look at all the options we may have to try and prevent those things from happening going forward. You know, but unfortunately, none of that stuff's a quick fix, you know.
I know, it takes
But
time.
it takes time, and that
My
doesn't help you
fear
right now.
is like, next year, you know, when it's rain season, you know, we don't know how much rainfall that's gonna bring, and it's just gonna, over time, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're soon not gonna have any roads, gonna be more sinkholes, or a home may go down, you know, it's just gonna get worse over time. And within 2 years, I'm like, wow, look at my backyard, it's just 2 to 3 years, it's just horrible.
So, some of the things, I think, well, there are a lot of things causing some of that, but some of the issues in the new part that you live in is that it's not been built out, not completed yet. And so currently there's silt cloth in the drains to keep them from filling up with silt and keep them from filling the whole system up with dirt so that it will continue to function. But sometimes I think when we have a big rain, that hinders some of the drainage. And so some of those issues, I mean, the developer, I think, is here, but once it's built out and all the punch list is completed, and he can do the top coat of paving and get those silt cloths out of those drainage basins and make sure they're functioning properly, I think that'll help a lot. But,
I hope so.
you know, part of and I think that the stormwater system, I know that the stormwater system in that neighborhood will be something, that portion will be maintained by the HOA. So that gives you some control over maintaining that once it is completed. And I do think once it's completed, some of that will help. And then the other things like cleaning out culverts and those kind of things for that water to continue to move as it goes out will help. But when we have 7 inches in 3 hours, if everything's not perfect, you know, it's a situation ripe for some real unfortunate events.
Yeah.
But thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
I
and
mean,
thank
we
you for your
want to
time.
hear what you have to say and your concerns. And I think we got still
do.
one more.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your professionalism. Mike, you had a quick comment to add?
I just want to add a quick comment about the road situation. We are aware that we are still waiting for the roads to be set. And I do appreciate, I don't know who came out and cleaned out all the gutters today. They took out all the big monster mud puddles and everything in there. And one of the actual drainage systems took about 45 minutes to get everything out. They actually had to use a backhoe to get the dirt out because it was blocking from one corner. My concern is, once that road is done, it's gonna lift it up, but then all that water that's in the streets is gonna go down towards where the flooding is in the main entrance of Walnut Court and Walnut Cove. Now, the issue is, our issue with the water is not gonna be solved by putting in the higher streets. We were told that already. This is happening in our backyards, because where we are on Riley Way,
Yeah.
we are low. So everybody else is up high, so all the water from the back of the complex drains right through our backyards. So by putting in an extra street is not gonna help, because it's all coming from the hill that's in behind our houses and just draining into the yards and stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Yes, yes.
If Mr. Mayor,
Please, add to that.
Commissioner Griffin had alluded to the engineering study, so we're getting a price from the stormwater engineer to do a hydrological analysis of that area, and it's about approximately a 4 square mile area that we'd be studying. So it will hopefully come up with causes and solutions to this issue. And I do agree with Commissioner Griffin, it's not just one thing that's causing this, it's a series of different events that are coming together. So, but it will not be a quick fix. I mean, these things do take some time, but we're headed down that road.
A lot of people working towards that end. Yep, a lot of people are. So know that they are, and know that your professionalism, your attendance tonight, the pictures, that it's all beneficial and helpful. Next, we have retired Commissioner Mr. Tony Jeffries. If you'll please state your name and address, please, sir.
Tony Jeffries, McLean Street. I'm not here to defend anybody. I'm not here to point fingers. I want to talk about the process. I want to talk about what took place. Hopefully, I can do it in 3 minutes. March 17th, 22. I got pictures on my phone. I was called by Eddie to come to his house. He knew my background in this type of work, asked me to come and look at it. I did. He was getting hammered. I went up there when it was pouring down raining. That's the only time to look at it. And I went up there through his yard and noticed it. At that time, I realized the amount of water that was coming down through there was more than what the ENS devices could handle. And listen to that. They weren't failing. They couldn't handle the amount of water. At that time, I was able to call Mr. White, and he sent a crew out. Probably within a day, I think, or maybe the day I called him, and he sent a crew out and fixed it again. 1.5 inch rain again. Eddie's house, I went to it when it was pouring, through his yard again, over the water flowing over. I'm glad we're gonna have a study. The calculations aren't right. There's too much water coming down through there because the devices are put in to handle the water, to slow it down, to control it, and then to take the silt out of it before it leaves the site. That was not happening. I tried to call the county. I made a phone call and talked to the county. They at least talked to me. I told them about the situation, and they basically told me they would look at their calculations, which you're gonna look at the calculations, they work because they approved them. That's not the problem. You need to come out. Bring your, out of the office when it's pouring, and you can see it. It's simple. Well, that never happened. So then I went and called the North Carolina Department, DEQ. Told them that their inspector was failing miserably. I know the rules. I was in the business. You have a rain of 1/2 inch. The contractor has 24 hours to fix the fence if it fails, and the inspector's got to inspect it. That wasn't happening. I know. I sat there. I called the state and told them it wasn't happening. I told them they had issues. Never heard anything from them. So it all dropped. I got in trouble for doing it. I wasn't allowed to talk and represent the town in that aspect because I was a commissioner. That wasn't part of my job description. Just letting y'all know that in the future. So the problem starts, I don't blame Tom White. He's a developer. He has an engineering design this property. It was designed by an engineer. He wanted the property on how many acres, this is how many houses I want to put on it, make it work. He gave him a plan. It got approved. So the designer's at fault first. Why do you build a lot that's 10 foot higher than the house right behind you is 10 foot higher and it slopes to you? That makes common sense. I know I gotta be quicker. I'm sorry. So they failed. The designer failed in designing. I don't blame Tom. Tom did what he was supposed to do. He did what the plan said. The state, the county failed him. I made him a statement to come out and look, just look at it, come out and look at it. They didn't. This was 22. We're talking now 3 years later and we're talking about the same thing. And we're finally getting someone to do attention to it after all this for 3 years. The state failed them. You talk about these permit and these agencies need to be adjusted. They don't need to be adjusted. They need to be cleaned out. If you're gonna do the job, do it. If you're not gonna do it, get off and be done with it. Someone has to take responsibility. Why? Tom got paid. He knows it. The designer got paid. The county's getting paid. The state's getting paid, and the town's getting paid. Who's holding the bag? These people are holding the bag. Everybody else got paid. And these people are holding the bag now. And I hate to say this. I know you're gonna try to fix it. I hope, and I know you're gonna make an effort. And I've heard it's gonna be hard to fix now. It's hard to fix at this time frame. How do you fix someone's yard that's 10 foot higher? How do you do that? You don't. You gotta make these, we as a town need to take more responsibility, I'm gonna ask. Maybe we do. I don't know, Andrew. Are we allowed to look at the drawings before they're approved? I'm just asking real quick.
No, yeah, we, that subdivision got permitted before I got here. For Bryson's Ridge, we sent it to our consulting engineers for.
Well, that's what
technical
needs to
review.
happen. Someone else needs to look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the road thickness. We're gonna inherit these roads. Bobby's gonna inherit these roads. The asphalt's 3 inches thick, folks. 3 freaking inches thick. That's nothing. 3 inches. Have our own ordinance. Make it 5 inches. Make anybody that comes in and build, you gotta have 5 inches of asphalt instead of 3. Beef them up a little bit. Look at these things. Help these people out. Help us out. Help Bobby out. He's gotta deal with this shit now. And they're getting a lot. They're just sitting there with their feet kicked up, guys. We knew this in 22. I tried to get attention, and I couldn't get any ground from nobody. Nobody would listen. And here we are today, 3 years later, and the same thing is being talked about.
Same thing.
3 years later.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, Commissioner Jeffries is correct. We did go to DEQ and, brought this to their attention at the time. They're the permitting agency, and it didn't seem to go anywhere, so.
The developer is here tonight. Did you want to add anything?
I do hate for to hear a lot of the problems that these people are having, especially, sorry, what's your name again? Mike. Because I remember having emails with Mike and the builder, and, we kind of thought that was addressed because there's a handoff to a certain extent. And to be honest with you, I thought even with Mr. Lopez's thing, because there is a ditch up there behind, I don't remember the lot number now, but it is designed to carry the water down off of his. It starts shallow and carries it down. So, there was an extreme rain event that we happened to have a few weeks ago, and hopefully, we did get all the culverts cleaned out today, which was scheduled about 3 weeks ago, and the state is taking over, and the HOA is taking over the pond dams, or the ponds, in the next probably few weeks, and once that's done, then the final lift of asphalt will be done. And at that point, the streets will be completely turned over to the town. And Bobby and I and Andrew and I have been talking about all that. But, we're working with the town just to I mean, I got family that lives here too, and we want to continue to see Spring Hope grow and to see how much it has grown from when we first got Walnut Cove approved. I remember Nate standing in here, you know, passing off his raise to the officers because the town was so low on funds. I mean, and to see that we're having bigger problems is frustrating, but at the same point, we've come a long ways since we started 5 years ago. And, you know, we're around to hopefully continue to make Spring Hope a better place.
So what kind of solution do you recommend as a land developer? You are a land developer. Those 4 lots, they dump right into his backyard. All the swells that were cut, all the swells,
Talking about Lopez?
they dump right into Eddie's backyard. It's 4 houses. And every single one of those swells goes there. And also the 3 houses on top of the hill for that final phase, all 3 of those dump down, over and down into that swell. So those 3 houses on the final phase and the 4 houses behind him, all of that runs into his yard, not just when it's a bad rain event. It's every time.
Well, there is a swell somewhere behind, it should be behind his house, that was designed to catch some of that water.
So maybe it's not then.
Well, and I mean, I haven't been back there.
I walked out there.
To see.
I have one little drain that's only 4 inches.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
not.
purchased a 6-inch, which it cost me almost $400.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to get like a 30-footer, and they're gonna deliver it next week
Mm-hmm.
because I had to pay it out of my own pocket just to do the work myself.
Yeah, something's missing. Something
Well, I
is
mean,
not right out there.
Originally, I mean, and we can go back and look at GIS from years ago. It's frustrating for me because the way we designed it is if you go back and look at GIS historically, all that was running towards this house. So when we designed it, you know, let's just say the front half of the houses are supposed to drain to the street. And then you have all the streets that are collecting the road and send it down to the storm pond. So for him to, I mean, I know that I'm not denying his issues, but at the same point, there's such a fraction of the water should be flowing down there. And if you look at the contours compared to the way it's designed now compared to the way it was. Because before, a lot of that, just about all that flowed that way. Cause you had the crest and then it broke in the middle, kind of probably where Riley and Yellowwood hit. From that whole area did flow towards his house before. And so once we designed it, we're only a fraction of that wood. So I don't know why I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I don't know why he's getting that much water. Cause I've been to his house 2 years ago, or 3 years ago at this point. So, I don't have a straight answer for you right now.
Well, I lived in the house next door to him from 2006 to 2009, and I was very familiar with that section through there that you're referring to. And all the additional impervious surfaces, rooftops, driveways, roads, there's no soil there. There's no leaves to hold the water temporarily for a while. It's all going straight into those swells. And the way that those lots are designed now, they're not flat for water to just permeate through. It all pushes to a swell, so it swells it and rushes it into his yard. And I mean, there's no denying it. Like anybody, you don't even need an engineering degree to walk out there and being able to look at it and watch it when it rains, that all 7 of those houses run into his yard.
Yeah. and
There's no denying it.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the county requires there to be a 2% grade away from the house, which is why everything falls into a swell and then either channels to the street or channels to the back of the lot. I mean,
Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to look at the plans and see if there is a drain or there is a swell that is supposed to be there that is not. That's the first thing that we need to do.
There is a swell and a drain back there. How far up it goes, I'll look again. But there is definitely a drain back there between, let me pull it up, somewhere around 221, and then there's another one down around 145 Yellowwood, somewhere in there.
And then the 2 properties beside Mike Gordon that are just simply flooding and washing out,
So
there
that's,
could be a simple drain type system put in there to run it to the road.
well, no, I wouldn't say a simple drain system. And I'm actually gonna reach out to Dream Finders tomorrow, and I'll copy Mike well, I'm not gonna copy on the initial. I'm gonna just try to have a conversation with him, just because I remember having a conversation with Mike early on, and with the amount of water that was coming down, and they did make several attempts, I believe, to fix his yard. And so I'm not gonna commit to anything for Mike, other than I have a good relationship with Dreamfinder still, and I'm gonna see if they'll at least make an attempt to come out and do something for him. Cause if it was an issue 2 years later, or 3 years later, I'd have a problem with it, but I know that he's had an issue with them since months after he moved in.
And we reached out to the warranty department, and they said, sorry, nothing we could do, through Dreamfinders. But me and Tom have been talking since this happened, and like I said, I haven't had a problem with Tom at all. He's been very helpful, and he's tried to come out to do stuff, and it's just, there's a lack of communication someplace, and that's why I'm asking.
Thank you.
to find out.
Thank you.
I mean, Dreamfinders had a whole shift. Basically, everybody in the top command got fired or quit. And so I'll reach out to the new guys and see if there's anything I can do.
So, thank you for doing that, Tom, because I know you've kind of handed that off really to them.
Contractually, it's their problem.
Right. So
He-
thanks for doing that. And,
Yes.
and when you, in looking at all that, maybe you can too look at the stuff behind Mr. Lopez and just see if there's anything with Dreamfinders, and you just
Yeah.
look at everything and
Well,
see
I
if
mean-
anything can be done.
Yeah, I will. I mean, and again, sometimes they don't, because they're handed the grading plan. So
Right.
let's just say between your two houses is supposed to flow to the street, the next house is supposed to flow down to a culvert. So, I'll look at it and see if maybe they didn't even put the swell behind his. I don't want to commit anything.
Sure.
But I am gonna stop by her house too and look at it, because
Come anytime, I'm right next door. You
Nothing.
don't even have to just go in the backyard.
But I mean, you guys know, I mean, like, ever since day one, like, we have really looked at this as a partnership with the town, and we want to continue to grow and see the town flourish, and, not come in here with pitchforks, so.
Well, thank you for looking at all those things for them, and anything you do.
Yes, sir.
Kind of keep us posted on the progress you make, if you
Yeah,
don't
I will.
mind.
And, I'll send Andrew an email, and he can forward it with everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
And to that effect, thank you for keeping Andrew updated. And if we could consolidate this through Andrew, so since Tom is going to be updating Andrew with his efforts, if you all had questions, it would be better to reach out directly to Andrew to get the updates on anything that's happening versus myself or one of the commissioners. Is that okay, Andrew, if everyone goes directly through you?
Happy to be there for.
Okay,
those, yeah.
perfect. Thank you. Thank you all.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Tom.
One last statement, and then we do have to hurry on to the thing, but please, we do want to hear y'all.
It's just simple. Mr. Lopez's yard gets like a river. It goes down the creek next to Sally and Scott's house. All the other houses, the water is deeper now in the creek behind them. And one lady wasn't even able to put a shed back there because of the water rising so high. So the water is rising higher behind these houses. Like I said, it's the first house on Walnut Court all the way down.
Yes.
So don't just assume it's just Eddie.
Oh,
Road's
no,
massive.
we're not. Yes, ma'am, because the studies that we've done at a state level show that there is water that's coming from subdivisions upstream several miles that had our creeks and streams already saturated that day
Right.
with water by the time the storm got here. So absolutely, that creek running through Walnut Court, it's got more water in it when it rains just from subdivisions north of
But
us.
Scott stood in his yard when we had that rain, and he said, in all the years, because they've been there almost as long as we have,
Okay.
but he said that he had never
Thank
seen
you.
the water rise as high as it did that day. It was all the way up in his backyard,
I know.
and so.
We know.
Anyway, I just wanted to. bring
Thank you. Yes, that whole area, we know that it connects all the way through. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, moving right along, we're going to jump to the approval of the minutes from last month. So the minutes for August 25. If not, any questions, we can get a motion.
Motion to approve minutes from August 4.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Continued items, consideration of the vacant building ordinance draft. Mr. Manager, can you update any highlights or anything that has changed, bullet points for us?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The town attorney and I continue to have conversations about tweaking the language and also other parts of the ordinance to conform with statute and decriminalization requirements at the state level. So we're still having conversations. I also would like the board to consider what they would find an acceptable fee at some point for vacant building owners to have to register annually. So keep that in the back of your mind. So it's not quite ready to be adopted.
Okay. If I remember right, some other towns had similar
They do.
arrangements, one of them being Franklinton, if I remember right.
Franklinton, town of Nashville, there are several communities in and around this area, yes, sir.
So if we could kind of look at their fees and maybe we can evaluate fees of towns nearby and set a fee for Spring Hut to be equitable for us and the property owners. Make some progress.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna, we can just make a motion to table that till next month and let Andrew do some more due diligence.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. New items, consideration of bids for water system improvement project. Let us know what you got.
So, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The bids all came in over the budget, which is approximately $3 million of that $3.7 million. The consulting engineer had conversations with the low bidder to eliminate parts of the project that were not deemed as essential. And those two parts yielded a bid modification, which is the next thing on your agenda. I'd say that step one would be to reject the bids and then move on to the bid modification, if the town attorney would concur with that.
So could that be made in the same motion? Or does it need two separate motions?
You're going to make a motion to approve
So, yeah, would it be a motion
Yeah,
to,
that's, I mean, yeah, I don't see a reason,
okay, so I'd make a motion that
as long as
we,
everybody else.
so the motion would be to,
If I may just explain,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, that'd be
Commissioner
good.
Griffin, you had asked prior to the meeting what parts were being eliminated. So it is the area just due east of Oakdale Cemetery, which is basically that section of pipe was intended to loop the system in the eastern part of town. And the other is between Nash and the Poplar, what will be the rejuvenated Poplar Street well, and that's, again, a section to loop and connect the system from Nash to that part of Poplar Street. Currently it connects through Franklin Street. So those two are not essential to the project. They would have been nice for water quality purposes, but they're not essential to placing the water mains in general.
and then if I remember reading the contract right, it's written in the modification that if funds were to become available, if we had savings, or if we got some additional funds, we still have a right to go back and add that back on
That's
with
correct.
additional monies, right?
Yes, sir.
If we come up with additional monies.
That's correct.
Which contract, I'm looking for my contracts now.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Gainey. Yes, that's the
Is-
approved.
The Iron River Bank or the Edward? Edward.
2
That's
million.
what's being rejected. Yeah.
Yep.
This is being rejected.
Correct.
Yeah, this is what's being
Approved.
approved.
If your approval number's like 2.9, right?
2.97,
The Herring and River Bank contract.
correct.
Okay.
So
That's what I thought it was.
is there anything else to add, Andrew, or anybody got any questions? So then I would make a
Thank
motion
you.
that we would reject the high bid, but accept the bid modification at $2.9 million and go ahead and get started with the project as soon as possible.
We got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
And I will be able to, if I may, Mr. Mayor, return to the board with a timetable once the contracts are signed.
And you'll be able to, with that motion, you'll be able to sign the contracts without our,
The mayor will be able to sign the contracts.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Consideration of budget amendment 2026-01, PEG channel, and Madam Finance Officer, if you could please let us know about that.
Okay, both of these, budget amendments are just increasing the appropriations that we made at the beginning of the budget year. We found that the, economic development, account, we needed to increase it, by $27,000, and that's for the depot improvements, which, this is stuff that the grant doesn't cover, which is several things, but we're still good. And then the PEG channel, same thing, just to increase, the amount that we have appropriated. These are separate accounts, which have nothing to do with the budget. These are just separate monies. And they're also restricted, so they have to be used for certain things.
I make a motion that we approve budget amendment 2026-01, the PEG channel grant, or PEG channel account.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
So there's another one.
And then there's a second.
Yep. You going ahead?
Yeah, I also make a motion that we approve budget amendment 2026-02, the economic development account.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Motion carries. Consideration of hazard mitigation plan. Mr. Manager, can you give us a brief overview of this? And commissioners, are there any questions that you have?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The hazard mitigation plan is a requirement of federal law, and subsequently the state, to qualify for certain things like pre-disaster mitigation funding, and also it's part of the FEMA process. It's a 5-year renewal. Generally, this one I think is a little bit late, but it's standard. It's unfortunately couldn't send it to y'all. I had to send you the link because it's so large, doesn't email very well, but be happy to answer any questions.
What's the federal, standard number for that one? Kyle, do you know the federal standard for what he's talking about?
I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
Okay, if it's hazard mitigation, which is one of my lines of work, and he said it's federal and also state, and I would like to know what the federal, like 29 CFR 1910 point whatever.
Oh.
Or 49 for Department of Labor. I don't know the EPA.
I don't know what that is.
So, okay, I've got you, I got your answer. The federal is 44 CFR Part 201,
Wait a minute.
44 CFR
It's, 34, that's the,
44
44.
CFR Part 201, and the state general statute is 166A-19.20 alpha.
Okay. So before y'all vote on it,
We're not in open session, ma'am.
I know, but y'all violated a lot.
That we were in open forum at the time, ma'am.
Y'all violated your own rules in here.
You want to make that motion?
Make a motion that we adopt regional hazard mitigation plan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Consideration of event permit for the Dan Finch Potters Festival. Do we have anyone from the chamber that wants to speak? Okay.
I spoke to Ms. Claris last week, and she said she might not be able to make the meeting tonight. But this is the annual event that is so successful here in Spring Hope, and we're glad to have the folks from the Dan Finch Potters Festival back for one more year. The festival will kind of be shifted over a little bit because of the renovations at the depot, but it shouldn't require any additional road closures over what is typical for every other event.
Okay, so we're going to move this to next month? Or
I think you could just approve it tonight if you all feel comfortable
Okay,
with it.
good. Wonderful, wonderful. If there's not any questions, if we can get a motion to approve.
Motion to approve Dan Finch Potter's Market.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Consideration of event permit for Clifton Chapel Church Revival, 9/26 and 27th. And do we have anyone from Clifton Chapel here tonight?
She was back there.
Yes.
Joe Dale?
Miss Jodell?
Jodelle Richardson, 303 South Poplar Street. I didn't know I was gonna speak tonight, but, we are planning a two-night revival, as you can see, on the 26th and the 27th, on the grounds of Clifton Chapel Church on 217 Poplar, South Poplar Street here in Springo. This would be our first, and we're just planning a community revival. Everyone is invited to come. We're planning on starting at 7 o'clock on Friday night and 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And it's going to be a revival, a church event, praising, worshiping God. It's not going to be loud music, but, you know, church music. And we just going to let the Lord have his way.
Thank you. I'll make a motion that we approve event permit for Clifton Chapel Church of Christ Revival.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. It's going to go well. It's going to go well, Ms. Jodell.
Amen.
Okay. Next up is consideration of the NCDOT rail agreement. Mr. Manager, if you'll highlight that, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the agreement between the town and the DOT to house the caboose temporarily on the main track so that it can be renovated and moved into place and utilized for storage at the depot. So we had to provide additional insurance to satisfy both the DOT and the railroad, which we are in the process. I think we've gotten most of it. I think the last little bit Michelle is working on. So.
Okay. All right. So do we have that document ready for a motion? Is it ready?
Yes, it's ready.
Okay.
That's its final form.
All right. If we can get a motion to approve the NCDOT rail agreement.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to the reports. We didn't have anyone here from the chamber earlier. Code enforcement.
Sean is actually in town of Nashville tonight, Mr. Mayor. They have their council meeting on Tuesdays. So
Okay. Thank you.
I'd be happy to answer whatever questions I can.
I think you've got his report. I'm good.
Do y'all have any questions regarding code enforcement?
His report is pretty thorough.
It is
Mr.
thorough.
Mr. Mayor.
It is. Police, Chief Police report. Hello, how are you?
Mayor, how are you? Ladies and gentlemen. For the month of August 2025, the Springfield Police Department responded to 622 calls for service. We had a total of 199 vehicle stops. We performed 290 security checks for the month. We investigated 12 accidents. We had 5 domestic disturbances and 7 civil unrest calls. For the total investigations that we initiated in August, there were 9, and we cleared 9 of them.
Absolutely amazed at the resiliency of you as an individual, your
Thank you.
strength, your courage, your heroism.
The outcome obviously wasn't the best we could hope for, but we did all we could.
Proud to be in the room with you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Lieutenant.
that.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir.
All right, and the manager's report.
I'm happy to answer any questions of the board. Again, I want to highlight the seeking out a stormwater engineer to do that evaluation in the North Walnut neighborhood, and anything else that we can do along the way to ameliorate the situation, even if it's a short-term solution. We'll be happy to work on that. Bobby and I actually met with Mr. Richard Dial this week to address some erosion in his swale. And, you know, he readily admitted his landscaping guy was actually helping to, if not cause it, exacerbate the situation by spraying Roundup. So we asked for his contact information to kind of put a stop to that, because he takes care of several of the the yards in that neighborhood, that's actually exacerbating the erosion. So just some little things like that along the way, if we can, anything we can do. That's all I have, unless you all have any questions of me.
Commissioner Tony? Any final thoughts or questions?
I'm glad the public came out tonight to tell us what problems we have and what we need to address. I think it's very important. I think everything went very well tonight. Everything's going on. Hope that we can go ahead and get this addressed as quick as possible and get these things, this solution to what needs to happen, done.
Thank you for facilitating the conversations and inviting and listening to the constituents. Thank you. Commissioner Griffin?
Just echo Commissioner Tony's comments. I really appreciate everyone coming, being prepared, and having your statements and your pictures. And, we are very aware and very concerned about what's going on, and we want to do things to help to make that better, because I know that's very concerning. And certainly, once again, Lieutenant Leary, really hats off to you for your efforts.
Thanks, sir.
Yep. And thanks to everyone here for the work that's been done to try and come up with some solutions.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Commissioner Lucas?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Commissioner Gainey?
Last time.
All right.
Just-
Attorney?
Yeah,
Oh,
just,
sorry.
no, just once again, thank you all for coming out tonight. Appreciate all those who shared, who, not here anymore, but, who shared their concerns, and hopefully we can move forward and get some stuff taken care of. Get in contact with the right people to get stuff taken care of.
Attorney Edwards, you want to close something?
Yeah. I'd like to introduce the new attorney we have at Fields and Cooper, Nick Berry, who's here in the corner. So I'd like to introduce him. You may see his face instead of mine sometimes. I'll be here. I plan to be here. I happen to be out in the October meeting, so he probably will be here. But that's somewhat of a coincidence. That's just, but I'll be here every other meeting. But as issues pop up, he'll be helping me. So just want to introduce Nick, and glad to have him in the firm.
You stay close by.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you get too far away,
But I will
please.
not be here at the October meeting. I'll be with my son on a college visit, so I will not be here that day. But I'll be around. And I will be at all the other meetings.
Another Campbell Camel?
No. Too much money spent at Campbell.
Okay, if there's no other business or comments, then we can entertain a motion to adjourn?
Closed session.
Oh, is there?
Closed
Yeah.
session on
Okay,
the
so let's
agenda.
get a
We're gonna do
motion in the
closed
closed
session,
session.
correct?
Yeah, please.
So I'd make a motion that we go into closed session.
Thank you. All right, so nothing is on the agenda after closed session, so y'all don't
And
have
there
to
won't
say.
be any votes.
But we're going to do a closed session real quick here. And then could someone can I get your information, because you said you had a comment?
Yeah, take a-
Or if we could connect. Oh, okay. Hey.